Neurons are the longest living cells in the human body, a fact that has fascinated scientists and doctors alike. Unlike most other cells, which have a finite lifespan and are constantly replaced throughout an individual's life, neurons can live as long as the person's lifespan, persisting for decades or even an entire lifetime. This remarkable longevity is one of the key features that makes neurons unique, and it plays a significant role in the brain's ability to store memories, process information, and maintain cognitive functions throughout life. To understand why neurons have such a long lifespan and how this influences our daily lives, it's important to explore the biology of these fascinating cells. Neurons are specialized cells that make up the nervous system, which includes the brain, spinal cord, and peripheral nerves. They are responsible for transmitting electrical signals that allow communication between different parts of the body. These signals are essential for everything from muscle movement and reflexes to thought processes and memory. Neurons come in various shapes and sizes, each designed to perform specific tasks, but they all share the ability to transmit electrical impulses across synapses, or junctions between cells. This remarkable function makes neurons crucial for life as we know it. One of the most intriguing aspects of neurons is their longevity. Most cells in the body, including skin cells, blood cells, and cells lining the digestive tract, have relatively short lifespans. These cells are constantly being replaced by new ones through a process known as cell turnover. For example, red blood cells have a lifespan of about 120 days before they are replaced, and skin cells are shed and replaced regularly as well. However, neurons are different. While other cells undergo division and replenishment throughout life, neurons in the brain and spinal cord typically do not divide after they are fully formed. Instead, they remain in place, living as long as the individual, which means that the neurons present in your brain when you are born could theoretically live throughout your entire life. The ability of neurons to live for such extended periods is thought to be linked to their structure and function. Neurons are designed to withstand long periods of activity without the need for constant replenishment. Unlike other cells, neurons do not require frequent division because their primary role is to transmit electrical impulses, not to regenerate themselves. Their longevity is also due to their specialized components, such as the cell body, axon, and dendrites, which are all highly adapted to their function of carrying and processing information. The cell body contains the nucleus, which houses the cell's DNA, and is responsible for maintaining the neuron's basic functions. The axon is a long, slender projection that carries electrical signals away from the cell body to other neurons or muscles, while the dendrites receive signals from other neurons. The unique structure of neurons is not the only factor that contributes to their longevity. Neurons also have a high degree of protection against damage. The blood-brain barrier, for example, shields the brain and its neurons from potentially harmful substances in the bloodstream. This protective barrier helps ensure that neurons are not exposed to toxins, pathogens, or other factors that might accelerate cell death. Additionally, neurons are equipped with specialized proteins and molecular mechanisms that help repair minor damage and maintain cellular health. These mechanisms allow neurons to survive for years, even in the face of potential stresses like oxidative damage or inflammation, which would otherwise contribute to the death of most other cells. Despite their remarkable longevity, neurons are not immune to damage or degeneration. Over time, neurons can accumulate damage from a variety of sources, including genetic mutations, environmental toxins, and the natural wear and tear of aging. This damage can lead to the gradual decline of neuronal function, which is commonly observed in neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and Huntington's disease. These diseases are characterized by the progressive loss of neurons, particularly in regions of the brain responsible for memory, movement, and cognitive functions. The fact that neurons live so long and do not regenerate easily makes them particularly vulnerable to long-term damage. As the neurons in affected areas of the brain deteriorate, patients experience symptoms such as memory loss, difficulty with movement, and cognitive decline. Interestingly, some areas of the brain do have a limited capacity for generating new neurons, a process known as neurogenesis. This is most notably observed in the hippocampus, a region involved in learning and memory. In the hippocampus, new neurons can be formed throughout life, although the rate of neurogenesis declines with age. While the brain does have some capacity to regenerate neurons in specific areas, the overall ability to replace damaged neurons is limited compared to other tissues in the body. This is one reason why neurodegenerative diseases, which cause the loss of neurons, can have such devastating and irreversible effects. The long lifespan of neurons also has important implications for memory and learning. Because neurons can live for an entire lifetime, they serve as the basis for long-term memory storage. The connections between neurons, known as synapses, are crucial for storing information. When we learn something new, the synapses between neurons strengthen, creating a more efficient pathway for transmitting signals. This process, known as synaptic plasticity, is fundamental to learning and memory. As long as neurons remain intact and functional, they are able to store vast amounts of information throughout an individual's life. However, as we age, the efficiency of these neural networks can decline, leading to difficulties with memory and cognitive function. Aging neurons may not function as optimally, and the connections between them can become weaker. This decline is a natural part of the aging process, but it can be influenced by lifestyle factors, such as diet, exercise, and mental stimulation. Research has shown that keeping the brain active through learning, problem-solving, and physical activity can help maintain the health and function of neurons. Even as we age, in conclusion, neurons are the longest living cells in the human body, capable of lasting for an entire lifetime. Their longevity is due to their unique structure and function, which allow them to survive without constant replenishment. Neurons play a critical role in memory, learning, and overall brain function, and their ability to endure throughout life allows the brain to maintain complex cognitive abilities. However, the aging process and neurodegenerative diseases can cause damage to these cells, leading to cognitive decline and other neurological problems. Despite these challenges, the remarkable longevity of neurons highlights their importance in the functioning of the human brain and underscores the need to protect and care for our brain health as we age.